Hi there. Today we're going to talk a little bit about building compassion. And the way we do that is to recognize our own woundedness in others, or at least that's what I've found. And I'm just going to use my stories that I've used because you can relate to that. The ballet teacher was in the ballet industry. And it's notorious for ripping girls apart based on their body. So I was in the back seat of the car with my grandmother, and my grandmother was driving. We were going on a shopping trip, and she told me that if I wanted to be a singer, I had to be skinny because singers were skinny. Now, my grandmother, when she was young, she was very, very beautiful, and she modeled with Zsa Zsa Gabor, she told me one time, but she was always a little bit heavy, so that didn't really work out for her. However, my grandmother was, let's just say, she was ahead of her time in many ways, and she also had to use her sexuality to sort of get through life. She had 4 different husbands. She was kind of a wild child, but she came from an abusive family. And I have an article about my great-grandfather where he was very abusive, and my grandmother ran away at 13. So she kind of had to use her looks to get by in life. And then later on in life, she had diabetes. So I suspect that my grandmother placed very high value on her looks because she felt that that was how she could get by in life. So from that, my grandmother was seeing in me, probably literally, herself, and was basically telling herself that in order to get by in life, you have to be very attractive, which is really what she did. She got by in life and she was very, very attractive. The ballet teacher was in the ballet industry, which again, it's notorious for ripping girls apart based on their body. But she was probably in her mid to late 60s when she was my ballet teacher. And this is in 1975. So here she was, like in the early 1900s, as a little girl practicing ballet, getting into that industry. And we're a little bit more aware now of how things are damaging to people's psyche. She grew through that era when she was told she had to be very skinny. So she was, again, seeing in me and projecting onto me the things that had been done to her. So calling me a fat tub of lard was just sort of a repeat of things that she had probably heard about herself. So looking at things like that, it allows me to sort of formulate an idea of what was going on with these people and why they may have said things like that. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying, oh, yes, they should have said it, because it's very damaging. But then at the same time, it was showing me things that I had already believed about myself. And I'm going to get into that in the next video. So what I would like for you to do today, just a quick little exercise, and please take out your transformational notebook so that you can keep track of these things and contemplate your past. Maybe it's a father, or maybe it's a teacher, or maybe it's a cousin, or maybe it's somebody in your life who triggered you and help to formulate a core trauma in your life, and try and see things from their perspective. Like, where were they coming from? What might have been said to them that may have caused them to lash out at you in that way? Because then when we can do that, we can start to formulate some compassion and even forgiveness. So that's your assignment for today. Write in your transformational notebook about these people who caused these traumatic core events that you still dwell on, and see how they may have been abused or criticized in their past and how they may have been projecting that onto you. So tomorrow we are going to get into where I originally got the idea, because I was thinking that I was fat long before anybody started calling me that. And we're going to get into how I put those pieces together tomorrow. So until then, have a great day, and thank you so much.